welcome back to my channel. I'm eca.fairy and in today's video we are talking about curtain bangs and my experience with having them. First thing that you should know, and you probably do if you've been following me for a while, is that getting curtain bangs or any sort of haircut around my shoulders was such a big change for me, because as of April last year I still used to have 1 meter hair, and in the time span of less than 1 year I got my hair cut 3 times or 4, I'm not sure, all the time reducing the length step by step so it wouldn't be such a big change. However, getting curtain bangs, getting haircut that really framed my face was a big change for me, because I didn't used to have layers in the past. When my hair was at its longest length, I guess you would say, it used to be a pretty straight cut. So this big change was a really good thing for me and for my hair as well. Right now it's even healthier than it used to be, and definitely easier to care for, maintain, style, and even blow dry, obviously. However, curtain bangs for me, as you can probably already tell, were not necessarily the best decision. I got what you would call, I think, a butterfly cut with curtain bangs in the beginning of October, and at first it used to look like this. Really pretty, exactly what I wanted, because I asked my stylist to give me a lot of volume. And however, in this picture, like these were taken at the salon, it doesn't necessarily look so voluminous, let's say, because it was styled in a different way. However, when I started washing it and styling it on my own, the volume that I wanted started to show up. And I wanted a lot of volume here and in the back as well, so I have really short hair in the back of my head as well, but just these parts, because I don't like the way it looks from the side. Like, most haircuts just look really flat on me right here, so I wanted something that wouldn't look so flat and unflattering, in my opinion. However, because I sleep a lot on my back, that's not necessarily something that I can avoid altogether, but this haircut does make it all better. So I want to start off by saying that I'm really pleased with the butterfly haircut, or however you want to call it. I'm really pleased with the style. I wanted something vintage, I wanted something that gave that kind of 90s vibe, but also lots of volume. That was my specification and I got that, and I'm really happy with it. The reason that I'm not so happy with the curtain bangs in themselves is because I love the length of my hair right now way more than I used to love it, let's say 1 or 2 months ago. And that is for a simple reason. My hair doesn't like curtain bangs, not collaborating well with curtain bangs. So basically these are the strands that used to be in these pictures, rotated like this, you know, styled this way. However, at this length they barely stay like that anymore, which is normal, like naturally. But if I do style them, they will actually still bend this way. However, this is just my blow dried hair. I didn't do a blowout, I didn't use my heated brush. I am loving this way more than what my hair used to look like, let's say 1 month ago, when it was like all over the place. The reason that I'm saying that my hair doesn't like curtain bangs is because it wouldn't sit with the bangs. And I thought that this was a normal thing, like the first week that I got them, because I talked to my friends and they said that when they first got some sort of bangs or some sort of really short cut in this area, their hair used to look a bit crazy like the first washes, until it got used to the shape and to the way it was supposed to sit. However, my hair never did. Testimony to that, the first few hours after I got my haircut, which by the way was really well styled by my hairstylist, so it didn't have any sort of excuse to not sit well, right? This side of my hair, as you can see, looked really great. It looked the exact way it was supposed to. However, this side kept literally this strand of hair. It was supposed to sit like this, but in a few hours after I left the salon, it was already sitting this way. And again, I thought that it was just a bit of time until it accommodated itself with the new shade that it's supposed to take. However, was I wrong? Of course, the first few times that I styled my hair with the new cut, I blamed myself, because I thought, yeah, maybe I just don't have my technique right. This was the first time I was styling my hair with the heated brush, with the round brush. I used a lot of heat protectant. I think I even used hairspray, put put it in place, and this strand would just flip back. And I was aware that this might happen because I have a cowlick here. However, again, it was supposed to kind of sort of go away on its own when my hair really adjusted to the cut. And in the meantime, you know, week by week, hair wash by hair wash, I really learned how to style my hair, and I was extremely happy with this side especially because this part of the curtain bang really looked so good, and it would stay in place. I would just need like 1 or 2 swipes with the round brush and it would be perfect. For example, this is just it. This is just the blowout on this side. I don't have rollers, wasn't able to let my hair sit in them. Maybe that would have really helped this side of my hair. However, I looked into it, I looked at a lot of tutorials, and while some girls really recommended fixing your hair with rollers, what my hairdresser also did at the salon, sometimes I simply didn't have the time. And other tutorials said that if you do the blowout right, you're not actually supposed to fix your hair with rollers because it should be staying that way. However, I do understand that for even more volume, rollers are a necessity. But clearly, because this side of my hair used to look just fine even after a few hours with the curtain bangs sitting correctly, theoretically my hair should have been just fine without the rollers. Which is what brings me back to my hair really just not liking curtain bangs or really short bangs in general, at least on this side. Because I would even apply double the amount of heat and hairspray and so on this side, and it would still revert back usually. And if it wouldn't, if it would somehow miraculously sit the way it was supposed to for more than 15 minutes, it would separate in a weird way, so I would have a really just separate strand from the rest of my hair, which wasn't an aspect that I liked in general. And I really loved the curtain bang on this side because it really just showed my face more and it was really flattering, also looked really put together. However, I cannot describe, but I bet you know the frustration that I'm talking about with your hair just not sitting right, because this was a really normal occurrence at this point. So by now I think it was a month after I got my hair cut and it still wasn't sitting the way it was supposed to. I would use the round brush and do a blowout every single time I washed it at this point, because I just couldn't stand the fact that when I would just normally blow dry it, this part would still sit right. It wouldn't have that much volume obviously, but this side would look bad. It would look flat. This strand of hair would just not look right no matter what I did. I tried using a normal round brush and the blow dryer to style it, and the result was the same. And the reason that I'm saying that I don't recommend curtain bangs, I don't recommend them to everybody, okay? Because you might have my hair type, and if you have my hair type, you're probably going to go through a similar experience. I've seen friends of mine have extremely gorgeous similar haircuts and their hair is always on point. I've seen girls on the internet having this haircut, their hair is perfect. However, if you have this exact hair type that I have, your hair is probably going to be a bit on its own, not wanting to take any sort of orders from the brush. So normally if I have a really straight cut, my hair is really straight. So if I have a blunt cut, my hair will be really straight. However, this sort of haircut with lots of layers, adding a lot of volume, it's also adding this kind of like waviness sometimes. Right now it's not necessarily here, but sometimes it's just a bit wavy, even though my hair is really straight. I have really fine hair, however, like the strand of hair is really fine. The only times I actually managed to do that was with the heatless curler. However, I feel like lately I'm just not wanting to touch it anymore because it's taking a lot of volume from this side of my head because of the way it's sitting and pressing on it, and I want most of my volume to be in this area, not centered around this area like my hair is naturally wishing to do. Do I regret getting curtain bangs? No, it was definitely something that I wanted. I really wanted the haircut, and I was really happy with it on this side of my head. I also got really great pictures that I loved on both of the sides of my head right after it was styled. I really loved the way it looked on me, and that's why it was such a difficult decision, because I actually wanted to go back and get them again just for how amazing they looked when they were styled. But it wasn't necessarily the best decision, because I kept thinking how more than 50% of the time I was actually just frustrated with them, or I would just find a way to hide them, because this part was just ruining the whole look altogether. And that was a really huge change for me, because this used to be my favorite side of the face and I would just take pictures from this side all the time. However, now, because this curtain bang was the one that looked correctly, I would just favor this side more. This is not to scare you, however. Curtain bangs are probably going to look great on you, because they also, like, I loved the way they looked on me. My only issue with them, and the fact that I don't recommend them to people necessarily, like, I don't recommend that this is like the best haircut of your life. It might be, I don't know, but for me it wasn't. So I don't actually hate curtain bangs as a hairstyle. I didn't even hate them on me. I just hated how impractical they were for me and how frustrated they made me at my hair, and I just wasn't used to this, because in the past I used to really love my hair no matter how it would sit. If it got a bit on the wavier side, sometimes I would love that. Sometimes it would be a bit flat, but it was okay. However, after getting curtain bangs, I literally got some sort of hair dysmorphia. Constantly check my hair, I would try to adjust this side, I would try to fix it, and then I realized that maybe I'm using too much heat, maybe I'm going to regret it in the future, so I had to limit the heat. Part of me still wants to get curtain bangs again, like really the short like curtain bangs, because they looked so great only like the first few hours, and then even because as I was saying, I watched a lot of tutorials. I even watched tutorials from girls that had similar hair to me. Now I cannot guarantee how similar it was, but it seemed similar. I have thought that maybe using a curling iron, especially on this part, would have ensured longer lasting results and better results. However, I just couldn't justify buying a curling iron altogether just for this, because I would not curl my hair. I just know that I'm not really styling my hair that way or any sort of way unless it's a blowout. It wasn't necessarily something that I signed up for, because that would have been extra heat that I wasn't really willing to use and I wasn't really willing to apply. Because in theory, if this part of my hair didn't need that extra heat, this wasn't going to need it anyway. And also, what I really hated about having to restyle my hair was the fact that obviously in the third day or something it would just not refresh the way it was supposed to. Like, you cannot refresh a blowout, you know, a limitless amount of times. However, for me, I wasn't even able to refresh the blowout number of times that you're supposed to be able to. And I was just really like disappointed with the process altogether. Although the look was exactly what I wanted, this is in no way to discredit the cut in itself. The style in itself, they are really great, and they are the reason that I still have, like, a part of me still wants to get them again at some point, and I'm probably going to, but not for now, because the amount of frustration and stress over how it looked, or if I was going to wake up and it would look bad all of a sudden. However, no matter how I bashed my hair for not looking right in the haircut, it did have really good moments that I was extremely proud of. Like, for example, this one. This was just blow dried hair. I didn't use any sort of tool on it. These times when the curtain bangs really rocked, loved that. This was my experience with curtain bangs, and it was a bittersweet one because I can't, like, as I was saying, I can't exactly say that I hate them, like I despise them. I hated, as I was saying, the impracticality, the fact that my hair would just not cooperate no matter what I did. I even hated the amounts of product I had to use and the time that I had to spend on something that on this side took a few minutes, you know. And what really convinced me to not return to the really short length of them is the fact that I love my hair now way more than I used to, even though it's not as full of volume, it's not as bouncy, doesn't look so styled and, you know, fancy. This right now is everything. Like, for me, I just feel like it looks so much better on me. And if you think about it, that's what actually matters, like, at least for me. Not necessarily to have a trendy hairstyle, but to actually feel really confident with my haircut. And this is now it, like, this length is perfect for me in every single sense. So all in all, even though obviously because it's longer now, it doesn't have that much volume anymore, I feel like this suits my face way more. And even if it doesn't suit my face objectively more, I'm just loving it way more. Like, when I look in the mirror, when I see myself in pictures, I barely used to take pictures unless my hair was perfect a few months ago, and now I'm really just taking pictures because I'm confident again with the way it looks. So this is not to totally discourage you from getting curtain bangs if that's what you want. However, be advised that a similar thing might happen to you. And I've never heard anybody talk about this sort of like bad experience with curtain bangs, which is why I wanted to. And this is in no way to be understood as I was too lazy to style my hair, because as I told you before, I definitely tried my best. And for me personally, having to style it every single day, like not just when I do a blowout, but having to refresh the blowout every single day, for me personally, it is not sustainable. I don't want a haircut that has to be styled every single day, like restyled, refreshed. Before that, I used to do a blowout that would last for at least 3 days, and the curtain bangs were at fault for the fact that I needed to refresh it so often. And personally, right now in this phase of my life, it is just not sustainable because I don't have the energy or the time to just do this every day. And I know that some people like doing their hair every day and styling it every day and having new hairstyles and so on, but I'm just not that person. I want my hair to look right pretty much most of the week with as little effort as possible, if that makes sense, because this is the way my hair always used to be. Like, I would put in the minimum amount of effort even in a blowout, and I would love the results. And maybe they are not magazine worthy, okay, obviously, but I want to feel content with my day-to-day hairstyle, even though it's not Instagrammable and extremely trendy, because the reality of it was that it actually just looked Instagrammable and trendy and amazing less than it didn't. And I didn't like that. And in time, when I forget about the hurdles that I had with this haircut, I'm probably going to get it again, and maybe by that point my schedule will look different and I will have the energy and the motivation and the reasons to just style my hair every day, so we will be having a way different conversation by then. For my hair to look the way I wanted it to, it would have needed way more maintenance that I was ever going to give it. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope my experience was at least a bit helpful to help you navigate the changes that you want with your hair. Or if you have a similar experience with curtain bangs, do let me know down in the comment section, because I've only ever heard good things about this haircut and I've never heard anybody talking about these sort of realities. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!